Well, the Trump administration has disclosed more details surrounding Saturday's deportation flights as it defends its actions in court. The administration sent hundreds of alleged gang members to El Salvador despite a judge's order demanding they turn the planes around. Some of the migrants were deported under the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old law designed to be used in times of war or an invasion. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now. So, Camilo, what did the DOJ tell the court Tuesday about these flights, and what else does the judge want to know?
Well, the Justice Department confirmed to this judge in federal district court in Washington, D.C., that it indeed sent 3 deportation flights to El Salvador over the weekend. 2 of them took off before the judge actually said that these removals under the Alien Enemies Act had to stop because of that court restraining order. And one of those flights took off after that directive was issued. But they said the 3rd flight that took off at the latest hour only carried migrants who were not processed under the Alien Enemies Act, but instead were deported on the regular immigration proceedings. And those deportations right now are not blocked by this judge in federal district court. However, the judge is now asking more questions about the 2 flights that did leave before he issued that order and that landed after he issued the written and oral directives, because he wants to know when they actually landed in El Salvador. We know, according to our own timeline here at CBS News, that we have confirmed that all the planes landed well after he issued his directives, and so they are in violation at least of his oral directive, which included an instruction to return the planes to the U.S. even if they were in the middle of the skies. The Justice Department, of course, as you know, is arguing that the court has no jurisdiction to order the return of planes that were over international waters, not over U.S. land. This judge is not buying that.
Well, and the judge wants these answers by noon tomorrow. So an ICE official also submitted a sworn declaration about the vetting of these migrants. What can you tell us?
Well, now an ICE official is saying that everyone who was deported to Venezuela to El Salvador from Venezuela under the Alien Enemies Act was carefully looked at, and their cases were carefully reviewed to verify and confirm that they are indeed members of the transnational Tren de Aragua criminal gang. And that is, of course, the gang that President Trump is arguing is orchestrating and staging an invasion or an incursion into the U.S., triggering this wartime authority. The officials said that they are relying on international and U.S. criminal databases, social media, and other technologies and skills to determine that these immigrants are allegedly part of Tren de Aragua. But importantly, the official confirmed that many of these detainees and deportees don't have any criminal records in the U.S., and some do, including for murder and assault and other dangerous offenses and serious offenses. But the official conceded that not everyone is a criminal, but instead that some of them are just migrants who are in the country illegally, and that they were processed under this law because they have some link to Tren de Aragua. Of course, advocates would tell us, Lindsay, that this is a slippery slope and that their clients in many cases are being accused of TDA membership merely because of speculation and tattoos.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you.